Okay, Justin, I'm going to ask you a little bit about what you have read so far in the story. I know you haven't had a lot of time to complete the whole entire story, but if you can tell me what you have read in the story.
That a type of a person who would not know anything about a mallard bird would walk through a bush area and then they wouldn't even know the mallard would be there.
Okay.
And
remember we talked a little bit about when I asked you to tell me about this story, these are the types of things I want to hear from you. If I say that too, if I say, what, can you tell me a little bit about what the story's about? Then I want to know, kind of start from the beginning and just tell me some main things that have happened from the beginning. And then maybe a little bit about the main character, anything that you know about the main character.
I didn't really realize that the main character.
You didn't realize there was a main character here?
Yeah.
Okay. How did the story begin?
It was telling about how not many people would know about a mallard bird, how it hides in like the weeds and that.
And who's telling the story? Well, I know that when I read a realistic or a personal narrative, when I read a personal narrative, and those are the kinds of stories that we've been studying, I know that the author is usually the main character, right?
Yeah.
So does that make sense to this story?
Yeah.
That the author is the main character?
Yeah.
Okay, so maybe they haven't mentioned the name of the author. Is this true?
Yeah.
Okay. Why don't you just start at the beginning and read that first paragraph, or those first two paragraphs for me, and then we'll talk about it.
You're being an introverted type of person one day in the spring I decided to go on a quiz for that most elusive of bird, the wild mallard.
I'm going to stop you there. Earlier, I told you that there were some words in this story that you may not know or may come across that doesn't make total sense to you. And one of the words is right here, intrepid. And one of the words is right here, elusive. I'm sorry, Ryan, would I have some? Okay. So just based off of, do you know what these words mean?
I think elusive means that it has where it's no.
Okay. The title of the story is In Search of the Elusive Wild Mallard. So I'm hoping
Hard to
that,
find.
okay, that's a good option. But could you flag these words? Could you flag these words and write elusive?
Yeah.
And put on there hard to find question mark?
Yeah.
What are some other ideas of what that word might mean?
What I thought elusive means that they didn't really think about it, and
Who didn't really think about it?
No, I mean the word elusive.
Oh.
Meaning, what I thought about what it mean would be like that they would come or they would focus in and then focus out. And,
Well, it's a word that's describing a wild mallard. I can tell that from reading this sentence. I can tell because it says, I decided to go on a quest for the most elusive of birds, the wild mallard. So I know that it's a describing word that's going to describe the wild mallard. So I can assume what? What can we,
find.
possibly hard to find. That's a great What else?
That. What was the question?
What else, what other ideas do you have for what that word might mean?
I'm not sure.
Okay. But you're using some strategies here, right? On how to decide what a word means. I'm not telling you what it means because I want you to try to figure out what it means. What would you do next if I wasn't sitting here next to you to decide what it means?
Look it up.
Look it up in the dictionary. And sometimes as I'm reading, I would flag and say, okay, I'm not sure. I would probably put a question mark on there because I think that's what it means, but I'm going to look that up later, or maybe even later in the story it's going to tell me. The other word that we talked about was intrepid. And I am being an intrepid type of person. One day in the spring, I decided to go on a quest for the most elusive of birds. So this character is an intrepid person. What does intrepid mean to you?
Thinking that he's wanting, or like they like going on finds to find different things.
Okay, he likes to go find things.
Yeah.
What would be another word you could use? Is he adventurous?
Yeah.
He likes to go find things. So could you write down the word intrepid and then put likes to find things, adventurous? And then, I don't know about you, but this makes me think, when I read this question here, I'll let you finish that, I'm sorry. What does this question say?
What kind of person is the main character in the story?
Okay, so what did it just tell us?
He's intrepid, and
It says it right there, doesn't it?
yeah, being an intrepid type of person.
Okay, so that could be that first answer, couldn't it? But in order for you to continue this, how do you know, find evidence in the story, you need to next find out what intrepid means, don't you? To be positive what it means. So what could you do right now?
In a dictionary.
Okay, because I think that that's going to help you answer the question that I asked about, and it's going to help you understand the rest of the meaning of the rest of the story. So I'm going to have you go do that, and then we're going to talk about it again, okay? If I start meeting with another student, then I want you to go ahead and continue reading, but I am going to come back to you to find out about that. And so, but I do really like the strategies that you're using to find out words that you don't know, because these aren't words that you hear every single day of your life. And so, but I think the author did a really good job of finding new and unique words, don't you, to make it a little bit more interesting. Yeah. Do you have any questions? Okay. Then what I'd like you to do is I'd like you to go look up both elusive, and intrepid. And then you and I can talk about the meaning of those words. I'd like you to write them down in your notebook in the powerful words section. Okay? And then we'll talk again. Thanks, Justin.